It's a case that certainly captured the nation's attention. And now, after several years and a surreal investigation, the Idaho mom accused of killing two of her children, as well as conspiring to kill her husband's first wife, was found guilty. The jury unanimously reaching that decision yesterday after hearing from more than 60 witnesses and deliberating for just about 7 hours. Well, tonight, Lori Vallow is sitting in an eastern Idaho jail awaiting sentencing. She faces up to life in prison. Her trial spanned more than a month, but in a stunning move, Vallow's defense team opted not to call a single witness. Vallow's kids, JJ and Tylee, vanished in September of 2019. Their disappearance sparked a months-long search, ending in June of 2020 after their remains were found buried at Vallow's fifth and current husband, Chad Daybell's home. Well, he faces charges as well, but will be tried separately. Here to help answer what is next is attorney and legal analyst Daryl Cohen. Daryl, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Natasha. Good to see you yet again.
So, Daryl, Lori reportedly being extradited to Arizona next. Can you help us understand why and what is next there?
Well, first of all, she's going to be a traveling defendant moving from Idaho to Arizona. Two, I don't understand truly why Arizona is choosing to prosecute her, because she has already been convicted in Idaho. She's going to be facing either life in prison or the death penalty, which I doubt will be imposed. But on the other hand, Arizona can say, we're going to prosecute her because her now deceased brother, who killed her ex-husband, was actually in a conspiracy, got together with her and said, we're going to kill him. And so he did at her behest. Why would Arizona prosecute her? Numerous reasons. Maybe one, they want a second bite at the apple, knowing that even if she is acquitted, even if she is found not guilty by a jury, she still is going to be serving life in Idaho. So there are all sorts of reasons involved. It may involve insurance. Her ex-husband may have had an insurance policy that named her or his spouse as a beneficiary, and he had filed for divorce before he was murdered. So there are all these little things. It's more like a soap opera that's played out in real life with, sadly, many victims.
Okay, so even if no more tangible prison time is added for her, it can't be more than a life sentence, she will likely face charges for the July 2019 murder of her fourth husband, Charles, in Arizona. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. That's what Arizona is saying. Maricopa County is saying, we're coming after her. We're going to prosecute her.
You know, and we just spoke with former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer about this case in the last hour. She believes there is a good chance that Lori Vallow could face the death penalty in Arizona. What is your take on this?
I disagree. On a conspiracy, I don't ever know of a case where someone has been convicted and been given the death penalty and had it imposed upon him or her. I just completely disagree. But that's not to say she doesn't deserve it.
Let's talk about what's next in Idaho itself. The judge said it could be 3 months or so before sentencing. What is the likelihood Lori Vallow cuts a deal and testifies against her current husband?
It's unlikely, but it's smart, because if she does cut a deal, testifies against Chad, then in all likelihood, the DA's office, the prosecutor's office, would give her an opportunity to have less than life. And anything less than life means, unless she has a stroke, a heart attack, or is somehow else deceased, she's going to walk out at some point in her life. I don't see it happening based upon what I saw during the trial, how she didn't want to testify. She didn't want to put anything bad in Chad's face in his way. So I don't see it happening, but if it does, it's smart for her. But again, Chad considers her as a goddess, so, you know, who knows?
In the end, what was the smoking gun, in your opinion, for the jury? What convinced them so soundly?
I don't think there was a smoking gun. I think there were several smoking guns. I think, obviously, the DNA on one of her children that was found buried. I think the fact that she was looking at engagement rings while she was in Hawaii. I think the fact that she took off for Hawaii. I think the fact that during the entire trial, she was haughty. She didn't seem to worry about it. It didn't, her body language didn't say, oh my gosh, I'm so sad that my children are dead. None of that. It was as if she were a person watching this trial, a fly on the wall, if you will. So I think there was more than one smoking gun. I think it was a great deal of smoke and a big, big bonfire.
I appreciate that analogy. And one more question for you. Vallow's defense team opting to not call a single witness. What was their strategy there? And obviously, did it backfire?
Well, the fact that she was convicted says it backfired. I think she would have been convicted regardless. Remember, Vallow is the client. The lawyers advise and the lawyers conduct the trial. She may very well have said to them, I do not want to testify. I do not want anyone to testify. God will take care of me, or I will be taken care of because I am who I am and I'm a goddess. I don't know. But the fact that they didn't call any witnesses means that the jury had nothing to listen to but the prosecution, nothing to hear but the prosecution, nothing to consider that she might have been not guilty, not anything to give them anything less than beyond to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. They found her guilty. So they gave her defense, gave her the best they could, I think, under the circumstances. Because keep in mind, lawyers don't select their clients, and they don't always have the opportunity to tell a client how to conduct his or her defense. I don't think she gave them that chance.
Right. Appreciate the insight in time. Daryl Cohen, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well. Bye.